This is Actar's reviews, from anime to figures and beyond.
Hey, this is Actar and it's been almost a decade since I started collecting. Since my last room tour video 2 years ago, I've actually moved. As I plan for this to be my permanent living quarters, at least for the foreseeable future, just like John Hammond, I spared no expense in getting it just right. It's something I've been dreaming of, planning for, and saving up to for a good many years. And it's finally a reality. I hope to show it off to you guys today, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I enjoyed putting it together. Try as I might, I'm definitely not going to be able to cover everything in detail. So, if you have any questions regarding any of the items you see, please feel free to ask me in the comments below. So, without further ado, please enjoy. Opening the front door, I welcome you to my humble abode. Let's have a quick look around. Starting off from the very front with my new TV setup, I've essentially tried to recreate my old one, but with a few minor differences. At the top is the very beautiful Movic 1/1 scale movie seconds Bardish Assault replica, and above the TV is my absolute favorite wall scroll featuring the main cast of Lucky Star. To the sides are the Meta Otaku merchandise from Densha Otoko's Amina to Otaku no Video's Misty May. Of course, we also have the Kujibiki Unbalanced posters, which is a reference to Genshiken. Nothing appeals to otaku more than shows about otaku. Below the TV are most of my random figures, prize figures, trading figures, and Nendroid petites that I have amassed over the years. I won't be going through them all, so here's a quick pan across. Pokemon, Haruhi, Disgaea, Macross, Ichiban Kuji, Madoka, Sora no Otoshimono, Digimon, K-On!, Nichijo, Saki, Evangelion, Higurashi, Umaru-chan, Kamen Rider, Digimon Railgun, it's all here. This Ichiban Kuji Miyuki dressed as Cheryl Gnome is one of my favorite Ichiban Kuji figures that I own due to the fact that the two characters share the same voice actress, which is a pretty clever reference. Lower still, behind the glass panel beside my Fate voice clock, are a couple of presents I received from my friends and a ton of random Valkyries from the various Macross series. And below that are the drawers where I keep all of my extra posters and pamphlets that I have no room to put up. If there's one thing about this room, there's far less wall space than my previous one, so I have to be really selective when it comes to the posters and Wallscrolls that I want to put up. On to the next wall. From the top, we have two Madoka posters I won via Ichiban Kuji draws. Below that are the Cospa Haruhi, Lucky Star, and K-On! Uniforms. Yes, I am well aware that this can come across as creepy, and no, I do not wear them. In fact, no one will, as these are for display purposes only. Longtime viewers will know that the one type of merchandise I love the most is replicas, and these cosplay outfits are nothing more than gorgeous replicas of their uniforms. Why these three series? Well, not only am I a huge fan of them, over the past decade, I've managed to visit all three real-life schools that the schools in the anime were based off of. Anyways, moving on, below that, we have the K-On! School bag together with a couple of anime ties and yet-to-be-opened figures. Next to them are my accessory drawers. One of the things that is extremely important when you become a serious collector is being able to keep all your accessories in order, and this is one of the ways in which I keep all of them organized. These bottles on top are specially illustrated and are only available from vending machines at Comiket 77, Comiket 85, and the Hokkaido Yuki Matsuri 2016, all of which I attended. To the right is one of my many details containing some of the more important items in my collection. From the top is Alter's movie Second Fate, because she's way too tall to put anywhere else. We have the Dengeki Heroines figure collection box set, which is a really beautiful box set of Ni Tengo figures, a commemorative plate from the Sapporo Madogatari exhibit, and an acrylic stand from the Love Live X Snow Miku collaboration. The first shelf of the detail is taken up by the infamous Cerebral Dominator in Eliminator mode, with Bandai's Proplica in the back and Nendroid Tsunemori Akane in the front. The shelf below is the protector case. Next is the Showa Accurate silver-rimmed VGC-7701 Fies gearbox that's fitted for the CS/CSM Fies gear, and right on the bottom is my custom katana lightsaber with Samurai, Vader, and several spring-loaded force action lightsabers in the back. Right on top, above this detail, is my Haruhi wall scroll, once again featuring the entire cast. I'm a huge fan of posters and Wallscrolls that do this, especially if it's of a show that I really like and can't decide on a particular favourite character. A little bit of a detour, changing perspectives, I'm now filming this while seated on my bed. I've actually incorporated my study/computer desk into my bed's side table. I know you're technically not supposed to bring work into your bedroom, but I just love surfing the internet and snoozing, so don't judge me. Right below my monitor, we have several little figures that I absolutely love, including those from Lucky Star, the Pot of Greed from Yu-Gi-Oh!, Fairy from Jinrei wa Suitai Shimashita, an excellent show, Suika from Toho, and the Akiba with Giant Lolly Diorama vignette figure, which is also adorable. We also have the world's smallest Optimus Prime and Megatron. To the left is the SIC Gaim in armor mode, which is a phenomenal figure, and the CSA Digivice, which I still mess around with from time to time, unlike the Pedometer game Digivices. And yes, I went there. And to the right is the Dynamic Change Shin Robo and Kupochi Homura, Figma Yuki, the Madoka Soul Gem Light, Tachikoma Mini Clarinet Clock, and Digital Thermometer. This is also the area where I put all of the figures I'm currently messing around with before reviewing them or before they go onto their respective shelves. Below this side table is extra storage space where I store the figures I've yet to unbox and the stuff I plan on selling. My CPU is right where it used to be, but with far less stuff on it. The only things remaining being the lovely Kagami/Tsukasa Shrine Maiden figures, the Yui voice clock, a pencil holder made from an Ichiban Kuji Yui mug, and Yamato's YF21 and Arcadia's YF19, two of my all-time favorite Valks from my all-time favorite Macross production. Next to the CPU is the subwoofer with Freeing's 1/4 scale Bunny Mikuru and Figma Combat Waitress Mikuru. To the side is another one of my little ideas. Aside from the mountain of external hard drives, I've actually run a crazy long HDMI and RCA cable from here to the TV so that I can access the game consoles and Blu-ray player right from my bed without having to even get up. Alright, continuing from where we left off with the wall, to the right of the Haruhi wall scroll is a window that I boarded up and turned into a shelf. I tried to go minimalistic with this one and just lined up all of the Figma figures from Haruhi, Lucky Star, K-On! And Nanoha. It's simple, it's elegant, and I really love how this turned out if I do say so myself. Above are a couple of K-On! Posters, and here is the Comiket exclusive Fate wall scroll, which is one of the nicest Fate wall scrolls I've ever seen. Below that is the KyoAni store exclusive K-On! Voice clock that I've been using for many years, and my framed Horakti Yu-Gi-Oh! Card. Moving on to my shelves, these couple of shelves contain all of the disc media that I decided to take with me. We have games, PS3, PS Vita, Wii, GameCube, PS2 and PS1, Hollywood movies, and soundtracks. On the right column are my Japanese anime box sets, Japanese single volumes, R1 releases, soundtracks, and my K-On! Toaster that I never got working. Again, I personally favor the Japanese releases of anime because getting the US releases of Japanese anime is kind of like getting the Japanese releases of Hollywood movies. It doesn't really make sense to me, and I'd rather do away with the middleman, thank you very much. The main window is to the right, and perpendicular to it are my bookshelves. These contain everything from English manga to Japanese manga and magazines to setting materials, storyboards, art books, fan books, and guidebooks. On the right, below my Ghostbusters Neutrino Wand replica, are box files where I keep all of my instruction manuals, pamphlets, and miscellaneous papers. We then have IKEA boxes that contain everything from first aid supplies to handheld game consoles and game cartridges, next to all of the undrunk cans of UCC Eva coffee and Railgun coconut cider that have long since expired. The yellow box contains all of my Digivices and LCD games. Below that are all the exclusive stuff, including all of the autographs that I've collected over the years, movie pamphlets, film strips, and movie ticket stubs, to my various card files, to more boxes containing all of my phone straps, keychains, and more. I've packed the lower shelves with all of the heavy books, game guides, magazines, and everything Comiket related, including doujinshi and ero manga. Don't judge me. In case you're curious, in these bottom drawers are even more accessories, trading cards, and chargers. On the side of my bookshelves are where I hang a couple of art frames and Shikishis I got from Ichiban Kuji and from various movie events. And now we're back to the front of the room. We have a number of posters. We first have a really nice Negima one. We then have a Sora no Otoshimono movie poster and a Madoka movie poster that I got at local movie screenings. Note the Singapore background on the Madoka one, and right at the bottom we also have a Flipside signed poster. Next to them are two more Wallscrolls. A beautiful Madoka one featuring the whole cast once again, and a life-sized one of Cure Blossom from Heartcatch Precure. Unequivocally my absolute favorite Precure character and one of my favorite female characters in all of anime. Yes, I simply adore her. But wait a minute, that can't be all. Where did the other 80% of my collection go to? Well, for that, we have to take a look at what's behind door number 2. Something that I've always wanted for the longest time, an entire room dedicated to my collection. Finally! Practically all of the items that I've spent almost a decade collecting are all in one place. Not to mention, they are actually organized. Not only was the designing and building a challenge, moving everything over was the hardest part, and I'm glad to say that everything made it safe and sound. Alrighty, wasting no more time, starting from the extreme left are some of the framed pieces such as the Pokemon Hanafuda card set from the Pokemon Center, which I find really meaningful because Nintendo was originally a Hanafuda card company. The poster from Saitama Press that I got at the Washinomiya Shrine, and a couple of cells from Cardcaptor Sakura and Macross 7, the latter signed by Haruhiko Mikimoto himself. This garbage can is where I store all of the Wallscrolls I have no more wall space for, and next to that is a Movik's 1/1 scale sealing staff. Below the replica of Yomi's sword from Gare Zero are these first couple of detolfs that admittedly aren't that impressive, as they're pretty much a random collection of the figures that wouldn't fit in with the rest of my display. The first one being my US toy shelf with everything from the Comic-Con Stanley figure I reviewed eons ago to a toy of Aladdin's lamp, to Adventure Time, Metroid, Gargoyles, Beyblade, Animorphs, Beast Wars, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Predator, and Back to the Future. I still have most of the toys I got whilst growing up in storage, and these are just the ones I picked out to put on display. The bottommost shelf contains all of the Harry Potter stuff I got when I went to Universal Studios Japan, including replica wands and candy packaging. The next detolf is more focused on robots. Right at the top is the Unite Warriors Devastator, an excellent figure in terms of play value and sheer size. We also have carded Takaratomi Drift and MP's Optimus Prime and Hot Rod. The top shelf contains my absolute favorite Transformers figure of all time, ROTF Prime, in both robot and vehicle modes. The one in robot mode is Buster Prime, while the other is the one I bought on release night all those years ago. I haven't gotten any of the DOT and remotes because I honestly don't like the remolded chest design. Following that are two shelves of random robot figures. We have super robots like SOC Combattler V, the very same one that my dad purchased for me when I was in primary school, and Dino Getter Robo to Mecha from Sakura Taisen, and the Bloodier from the Capcom game Armored Warriors, one of my absolute favorite arcade beat-em-ups. These figures here are the Chogokin no Katamari figures, 100% die-cast statues of various robots. They are nothing more than display pieces, but they're really hefty and solid in hand, and are well worth the $10, in my opinion. Below them are figures from Mazinger Z, Evangelion, Gurren Lagann, Expelled from Paradise, and a couple of Code Geass figures, including the Robot Damashi Tristan and Vincent model kit. Finally, on the bottom shelf are a number of the Sentai robots I'm particularly fond of due to their amazing transformation schemes and playability, namely the ones from Magiranger and Shinkenger. They each have 3 distinct modes, and their transformation schemes even rival those of some Transformers. There are actually a ton more robot figures that I have in storage, ranging from all of the Sentai toys I got when I was a kid to all of the Brave series robots and the Transformers movie and Beast Wars figures. I might put them up on display sometime in the future, but I think I'll have to get yet another detolf for them. With those 2 detolfs out of the way, let's get to the good stuff. For my main display, you'll see that I divided them into both rows and columns. Each column focuses on a different theme or genre, while there are 3 rows to each column. The tops of the shelves, where I mainly put boxed figures, the shelves themselves, and the display cabinets at the bottom that are mostly unrelated to the shelves above them, so that's why we won't be looking at them in order. With that said, let's get right down to it. This first section is where I put all of my robot figures. As I had rightly predicted, the Soul of Chogokin Gaogaiga with Stealth Gao 2 add-on parts and Goldion Hammer with Mikoto on the side makes for an absolutely brilliant centerpiece. Yes, he was expensive, but he is a beast once put together. Definitely worth the price if you're a Gaogaiga fan. We have SOC Aquarion to the left, perfectly transformable between its many modes, and SOC Gunbuster to the right. Of course, no Gunbuster display would be complete without Noriko and Buster Machine number 7 striking that famous Gunbuster pose. Seriously, how amazing is Gunbuster? It's the perfect merging of cool and cute with its mix of shoujo and shonen. Anyways, moving up, we then have all of the Macross Velks ranging from Yamato and Acadia to Bandai. Macross Plus's Isamu and his many Velks together with a Ganudo YF21, along with Macross 7's Basara, Milane, and the Fire Velk and VF17S, and Macross Frontiers VF25F and VF171 Nightmare Plus. There's also a mini transformable VF25F and a Robot Damashi Q rear there as well. Right in front is a rather out of place Arcadia VF1S. Above that is my Code Geass shelf with Robot Damashi figures of the various Nightmare frames used by the three main characters, Suzaku, Lelouch, and Cullen. The figure in the center is the SH Figuarts figure of Lelouch. Finally, we have my Evangelion and Fullmetal Panic shelf. From the left, we have the Evangelion SOC Specs, the best Evangelion figures out on the market bar none. And we also have the movie version Robot Damashis with the nerve-based playset and the Seele sounds-only music box. To the right is a whole host of Fullmetal Panic Robot Damashis with Chidori and Tessa trading figures in the back with Bontakun, and the two outer full-action models of the Arbalest and M9 right in front. Right on top are the dynamic change getter robo figures in box, along with several more Robot Damashi figures that I've yet to open. In the cabinets below are more robots, including sections dedicated to Code Geass, well, mostly Kallen and the Gurren, Gaogaiga, Skygirls, and Macross. The Kallen doll from Mega House is definitely one of the best representations of a character yet. We have the die-cast Gurren figure by Mega House also attacking Jeremiah, the Gurren model kit, and many different Kallen figures including Bandai's Chibi Arts and Prize figures. We have figures of Kallen's Burai and Seetsu's Mecha in box in the back. Now, these D-style Gaogaiga model kits are also pretty amazing. Yes, there is parts forming involved, but I absolutely love the fact that they are actually transformable. Also, do not pay the crazy prices on eBay for that Mikoto doll. I got mine for about $10 on Mandarake. Skygirls is a bit of a strange one for me. For some reason, I really enjoy it more than any other Mecha Musume anime I've seen, and I have no idea why. The figures in the back are from the Konami MMS line, which is famous for their Buso Shinkis. Lastly, we have some more Macross stuff that couldn't fit in with the others, including Bandai's VF27, VF19 Advance, another Yamato's VF1S, and an old Bandai reissue Takatoku VF1S. This next section is focused entirely on magical girls. To start off, we have my number one favorite Precure series, Hardcatch Precure, with the DX toys and figures to the side. I only got the SH Figuarts of Cure Blossom because the SH Figuarts were honestly pretty crappy. See my review if you're curious. Following that up, we have Sweet Precure's DX toys. I'm not that big of a fan of the show because the premise for most of it is Hibiki and Kanade getting annoyed at each other, but I ended up with the entire set of toys for some reason or another. Next, we have a shelf dedicated to random Precure series with everything from the original Cure Commune to stuff from Yes Precure 5, Smile Precure, Happiness Charge Precure, and Go Princess Precure. Up next is a rather scant Sailor Moon shelf with all of the really cool Gashapon transformation sticks and the Proplica Moonstick, Proplica Crystal Star Compact, Original Crystal Star Compact from my childhood, and a set of Season 1 transformation pens. I was also a huge Sailor Moon fan growing up, but for some reason I just don't feel the same amount of nostalgia or love for it as I do many other shows. Speaking of nostalgia, the top shelf focuses on a Magical Girl series that I simply adored when I was younger, Akazukin Cha-Cha. I have most of the roleplay toys including the Beauty Serene Arrow, the Bird Shield, the Princess Medallion, and the Wing Chris that can actually transform into its Phoenix mode. These I might review someday. On top are the SH Figuarts Sailor Moon figures that I've yet to finish collecting. I'm still missing Saturn, Pluto, and Chibiusa. Moving on, it's none other than my number one favorite magical girl series of all time, Cardcaptor Sakura. As you might have seen before, I've pretty much completed the entire Bandai line of Cardcaptor Sakura roleplay toys, but now you can see everything clearly. We have all of the wands, the 1999 Cloud Wand, the 2000 Star Wand, the 2004 Cloud Wand re-release, and the 2015 Premium Bandai Cloud Wand re-release. We also have the Light Up Cloud Key and Sakura's Phone, both released in 1999. Next up are all of the card sets, the 1999 Cloud Book and Cards, the 2000 Sakura Book and Cards, the 2001 Sakura's Pouch and Cards movie second version, and the exceedingly rare 2004 Cloud Book and Cards re-release, and that one is mint in sealed box. I also have 3 different sets of the Kodansha Cloud cards, a 1999 first print, a later print, and a 2015 reprint. Above that are all of the CCS dolls that I have, from the original Bandai Bendy dolls to the recently released Takara Tomy Lika-chan dolls. There are also some random Kiro and Spinel soft toys. Fitting snugly into the topmost shelf is the 1998 Cloud Wand pre-release, the full-size version with die-cast Cloud Key, and the 1998 Talking Kiro plush toy. Right on top are some Cardcaptor Sakura figures, including the Nendroid, Prize figure, and SH Figuarts figures. I'm planning on opening the Figma figures eventually, so that's why they're not there. And yes, I'm really looking forward to adding in Takara Tomy's CCS reboot toys. I might do a quick update video once they arrive. Keeping in line with the magical girl theme, we have yet another Detolf. Standing tall and proud, right on top is my A-Zone 1/3 scale Fate Testarossa doll, which has the Nanoha and Fate Nendroid pluses sitting on it. If you notice, you'll see several mini K-On! Plushes filling up that little gap. Seriously, they were made for that gap, as nothing else in my collection would fit. The first shelf focuses on Madoka, with the Ultimate Madoka completed PVC figures surrounded by all of the Figmas. We then have all of the Hard Catch Precure completed PVC figures, including the ones from the Sekai Seifuku Sakusen line. Still can't believe I managed to fit them all in there. The next shelf contains the Ace Alter Fate, GSC Nanoha, and school uniform Figmas, along with the Nendroids and Nendroid Petites. The final level is once again filled with Madoka stuff, from mini plush toys to the Madogatari trading art frames to a ton of QB figures to the boxed Ultimate Madoka and Devil Homura Figmas. Moving on, here is none other than my Digimon shelf. What is Actar's reviews without Digimon? And here they all are. From bottom to top, we have 5 shelves, each dedicated to a different season. We have Digimon Adventure, Digimon Adventure 02, Digimon Tamers, Digimon Frontier, and the newly added Digimon Savers. As you can see, I mainly focus on collecting Japanese figures only. It's just my thing. Again, I can't say how much I love the Japanese Armor Evolution line, as this is one of the only ways to get good looking Digimental replicas. Also, I really don't want to brag, but Susanumon, Shine Greymon, and Mirage Galgamon look so good. I am so happy to have them in my collection. I have the boxes for the Spirit Evolving Kaiser Greymon and Magna Garurumon on top, despite the fact that they are empty on account of how rare they are. Recently acquired is a boxed Warp Evolving War Greymon, my absolute favorite transforming Digimon figure and arguably the best War Greymon figure ever created. And in the cabinets below are my humble collection of Digivices and V-Pets, and the MISB Japanese Jogares Choshinka Omegamon figure, together with a number of the completed PVC figures of the human characters, which I've never finished collecting due to how expensive the rest are. The SH Figuarts Alphamon and Omegamon, the CSA Digivice, and the Tag and Crest set. Right, this next whole wall is dedicated to anime completed PVCs and action figures from a plethora of series. We would be here the whole day if I went through them all. So first, in broad strokes, we have Figmas and action figures on the bottom, many different completed PVC figures in the middle, and unopened figures on top. Let's take some time to get a good look at them all. From the bottom, we have a shelf with mainly JoJo Super Action statues, Figmas from Gare Zero, Madoka, Evangelion, Fate and Real Decks, and a whole host of random action figures from Figma from various series, to Revoltech, to SH Figuarts, to the original Max Factory Gaivers. For the completed PVC figures, we have stuff from Code Geass, Fate Stay Night, Manabi Straight, Yuru Yuri, Bamboo Blade, Zero no Tsukaima, Shana, Ano Natsu de Matteru, Sora no Otoshimono, ROD, Jigok Shoujo, Baka Test, Kill Me Baby, Gurren Lagann, Macross Frontier, SAO, Haruhi, Miyakawake no Kufuku, Vocaloid, Densha Otoko, Canon, K-On!, Danganronpa, Full Metal Panic, Haganai, Nanoha, He Is My Master, Oreimo, Bakemonogatari, Genshiken, Metal Slug, Railgun, Saki, Precure, Toho, Gare Zero, Kannagi, Sekirei, and Angel Beats. Whew! Now that was a mouthful. This is where I keep most of my prize figures and older figures. Honestly, prize figures just keep getting better and better, and some of them even rival established figure brands in terms of quality. Of course, their main claim to fame is their sheer affordability, and if you're an up-and-coming figure collector, these figures are the way to go. Nanoha figures take up the two top corner shelves, the two Movics and Actars on the top left, and Alter figures on the top right. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Is right smack in the center. As I have mentioned before, I am a huge Gen 1 Duel Monsters fan, and this setup is gorgeous if I do say so myself. We have the three main characters, Yugi, Marik, and Kaiba, with their respective Egyptian god monsters above them, and Yugi is flanked by his trusty Black Magician and Black Magician Girl. Still need to pick up the one in TV colors. The God Monster figures are actually from the US toy line released way back in the day under Mattel's deluxe model kit line that are simply amazing in terms of their size. On top of this wall are all of the exclusive / limited edition figures, or figures that I just want to keep in box. These range from the Monogatari event figures, to Wonderfest figures, to magazine mail order figures, to Figma archetypes, to the Pantene stocking figures. Right at the corner are all of my non-human plush toys, like the Charlotte transforming plush toy, the Prinny, Vita's cursed rabbit, Mokuna, Upa, and shiny Mega Gardevoir. In the bottom cabinets are all of my dolls. The reason I put them in here is because these cabinets are far more airtight than the other display shelves, and I want to minimize the amount of dust getting on the cloth. Taking a look at them from left to right, top to bottom, we have a couple of random A-Zone Pure Nemo dolls. Mahiru from Working and Ichika from Anonatsu de Matteru. The A-Zone K-On! Dolls, the Mama Chap Lucky Star dolls, the Anime Ichigo Marshmallow dolls, and the 1/3 scale Nagato Yuki from A-Zone. For the next row, we have some random boxed exclusive dolls from Oreimo's Kuroneko, to Nagi and Zange from Kannagi, to Asuna from Negima. Next, we have Cure Black and Cure White from Romando. Now, these are horrendously underrated, and they are honestly some of the best representations of the characters. I mean, seriously, they look amazing, far better than CM Corporation's renditions. Continuing on, we have Nanoha and Fate and Madoka and Homura from Manicom's Real Action Heroes line. These dolls are nowhere near as high quality as those from A-Zone, but are great for their price and come with a ton of accessories. They do have hard PVC hair, so some might not consider them true dolls, but I don't really mind. Oh yes, there's the really adorable Lika Madoka in the back. Not that big of a fan of their rendition of Homura, but I might pick her up at some point. Lastly, we have the really old A-Zone Haruhi dolls still in box. These actually use the Obitsu based bodies instead of the pure Nemo ones. Far more articulated, but not as aesthetically pleasing. Time to change tracks and move on to Kamen Rider. These last two sets of shelves are dedicated to this franchise. Starting from the left, from bottom to top in order of my favorite series, I have most, if not all of the DX toys from Kamen Rider Gain that appeared in the series itself. Seriously, if you love Madoka, Fate Zero, Psycho Pass, and Saya no Uta, you owe it to yourself to watch this series, as it's written by Urobochi as well. One of the few times that Toei brought in an external writer to write their series. Not to mention, the toys are simply phenomenal. Some of the best designed Kamen Rider toys ever produced in my opinion, as they just take the best aspects of all of the previous Rider series and merge them into one. Even the gimmick figure line is amazing. Just like the Japanese Armor Evolution figures, you get to display the arms in their fruit modes, right next to their respective lock seats. I've actually written a blog post with an in-depth discussion of the toys' designs, so do check that out if you're interested, links in the description. We then have Kamen Rider Double with all of the DX toys and the T2A to Z Gaia memories mounted on the wall behind. Never bothered to get any of these CSM Double toys because honestly, there's really not much difference. We then have Kamen Rider Kabuto sans the Gatek and Hopper Zactus, and Kamen Rider Blade sans the Chalice Wild Browser and Liangle toys. The topmost shelf is reserved for random Kamen Rider toys, including those from Decade, Deno, Hibiki, Oz, Wizard, and a couple of random switches, shift cars, and icons. More than half of the right shelf is dedicated to my absolute favorite Kamen Rider series, Kamen Rider Fies. I just love the characters, drama, action, and the designs, but of course, what I love the most is the rider gear. We have all 3 custom replica gearboxes containing all of the rider gear, Kaiser and Delta on the bottom, and Fies on top. I've already talked at length about these, so if you're interested, do feel free to take a look at those videos. On the bottom, we also have the Saiga and Olga drivers and the SRHF side basha, light up Fies figure, and Smart Brain name card case. Together with the Fies gearbox up top, we have the rest of the Fies gear, an unopened SH Figuarts Fies and Auto Vagin set, the Ra Fies figure, and the SRHF Auto Vagin. Speaking of SH Figuarts, the last 2 shelves contain all of my Kamen Rider Figuarts and figures. On the left of the second shelf from the top are all of my Gun figures. I have collected pretty much all of the arm change Gun figures, which are against the wall in the back. So I only got the SH Figuarts figures of the main riders, namely the main 4, Gaim and Zangetsu's upgrades, and Lord Baron. Kiwami Arms is riding on a Figma horse that I got specially for him, and it's as if they're made for each other. Watermelon Arms is also there, towering over the other figures in the back. Fies Figuarts take up the other half of the shelf, and I pretty much have all of them save for the Kaiser Glow Stage version. Auto Vagin is one of my all-time favorite rider bikes, robot designs and characters, period. So I could not resist buying multiples to display him in both robot and vehicle mode. The final shelf at the top contains all of the miscellaneous rider figuarts and their bikes, from Decade to Double to Kuga and Agito to Hibiki, Oz, Kabuto, and Blade. Topping the Kamen Rider shelves are mint and sealed box Sengoku and Genesis drivers, accompanied by a very old Kamen Rider Shin figure and a rather new deluxe Kamen Rider Kabuto cast-off figure. On the right are the complete selection modification Kabuto Zector, DN driver, and Deca driver along with their respective peripherals. But we are far from over, as we still have the rest of the bottom cabinets to cover, the remaining ones mainly containing replicas and special merchandise from all of my favorite series. On one side of the room, we have items from Kyoto Animation, including Yuki's Hyperion book and bookmarks, Haruhi's Danjo pyramid and armbands, Kosit Ome Honey CD, Rika's eye patch, and Sakamoto's scarf. We also have the composite version car Bunny Haruhi in there. Evangelion with Rei and Asuka interface headsets, Gendo's glasses, LCL buff soap, Asuka's eye patch, and the Universal Studios Evangelion head popcorn bucket and LCL flask. Those 2 figures are the Voice Idol Superior figures that I've shown on my channel recently. Here we have the Fate series, mainly the class cards that feature heavily in Ilya, and then we have stuff from Negima featuring all of the plastic Pactio cards that were ever released, including the movie exclusive Asuna one, the Mille Vincula Pactio card holder, Ala Alba pin badge, and Negima student ID cards. There's also an exclusive Asuna Figmate in there. Pokemon with Pokeballs, Pokedexes, Mega Rings, Moncole figures, SH Figuarts Mewtwo, and Groudon and Kyogre figures. Random series including the anime accurate decks and cards from Weecross, Kill la Kill Scissor Blades, Midori no Hibi Hand Puppet, Rosen Maiden Pin Set, Nonon Biori Media Factory exclusive Komagurumi, which is surprisingly hard to get now, Ore Imo Nandroid, Merurun Cosplay Trophy, Gurren Lagann Core Drill, Blackrock Shooter Phone Strap, and Punchline Panties. Yes, you heard right. Yu-Gi-Oh! With the original US Dual Disc and the Memories of Dual King decks, Dark Side of Dimensions decks, and Millennium Gold box. I still hang on to this Dual Disc because it's arguably the nicest looking one and is the only one that can recreate the folded up position from the show. The last shelf centers around Code Geass with the Ichiban Kuji Zero helmet, Lancelot USB launch key, and Prop Plus Lelouch and Suzaku. On the other side of the room, we have items from Railgun with my customized A-Zones Mikoto and Kuroko, Judgment armband signed by Arai Satomi, Gekota merchandise such as straps and finger puppets, Sister's Goggles eye mask, Index Cross, and of course a ton of Mikoto's arcade coins. Still annoyed by the fact that they mass-produced those after I tried so hard to track them down when they were still limited exclusives. K-On! Including Nodoka's glasses, the K-On! Boo keychains, Yui's mug, Yui's castanets, Yui's pencil case, Yui's hair clips, Yui's notebook, Azusa's Nekomimi, Azusa's cup, My Love is a Stapler, and the pink cassette from the end of the series. Nanoha with all of the different intelligent devices in device mode from both the original series and the new movies. We have Raising Heart and Bardish to Kararuwind, Levantine and Grauf Eisen. We also have Nanoha and Fate's ribbons in the back with the Book of Darkness jacket cover and a replica framed photo of Fate and Nanoha's picture from the end of the first movie that you can see on Nanoha's desk. Madoka with all of their soul gems post-transformation, die-cast Grief Seeds, die-cast Homura's ring, die-cast Homura's soul gem, Homura's glasses, and handkerchief. Kaiji, including the original e-card set that came with the manga, a plastic e-card set that comes in a case that was released to promote the live-action movie, and the restricted rock, paper, scissors cards. Steins Gate, with a replica of Okabe Rintaro's phone that plays voice clips from the various characters in the show, Laboman pin badges, die-cast metal Upa, plastic Upas, and a boxed Rhinet Access Battlers card game. JoJo's with Jonathan Joestar's handkerchief, stone mask, and plush frog that you can punch to replicate the Hamon scene from the show. And finally, Akiba Rangers. We have the Moe Moe Zukyun and Munya Munya Zuban together with the SH figures. Last but certainly not least, hanging on the ceiling beam, we have my collection of soft toys / plushies. We have Toho, Key Anime, Disgaea, Railgun, Baka Test, Angel Beats, To Love Ru, Steins Gate, Heartcatch Precure, and Snow Miku. So I do hope you guys enjoyed my 2016 room tour video. Compared to my previous room, it's far more organized due to the fact that it was designed from the ground up, as opposed to me modifying the room bit by bit to accommodate my collection. With the two separate rooms, I get more space for myself, and my collection gets more space as well. Believe me, it's been a joy having friends and family over and watching their reactions. With regard to where I plan to go from here, one of the things I'm thinking of doing is possibly adding a sofa or a table in the middle of my display room. Either that, or adding a central glass shelf that will still give people enough space to walk around. Speaking of which, as you might have seen, my display room is rather full as it is. While I do have some concerns regarding future expansion, I don't think that will be an immediate issue, as I've also been slowing down my collecting. The more I mature as a fan, the more discerning I become with regard to not only the anime I enjoy, but also what merchandise I buy. I do have quite a number of rules I set for myself, but that's really another topic for another video. So, this is Actar saying, see you guys in the next episode, and here's to a great many more years to come.